Hello, today I'm doing a review on the Sookie Stackhouse books by either Charlaine or Charlaine Harris. I'm not sure which is the proper way to pronounce it. I say Charlaine Harris. So the Sookie Stackhouse books, or I think you can call them the Southern Vampire Collection, and there is 11 books so far, and this is a vampire series. It's about Sookie Stackhouse, who they live in Bon Tom in a southern kind of state in America, and it's a really small town. And Sookie, she's kind of a human, and recently vampires kind of outed themselves, so the world is aware of vampires, and a vampire kind of comes into her life, and she kind of gets sucked in, and basically from the first book on out, she's involved in all these vampire situations and drama and everything. I think it's a great series. It's one of the best vampire ones out there. It's definitely an adult series. I wouldn't say it's for kind of younger people. It's There's loads of characters there, but they kind of introduce new ones to each book, as well as have the old ones. So there's not too many characters, and they're all really different and interesting, and you always have kind of ones you like or you don't like. And in each book there's a different kind of mystery to solve. It can be like a murder mystery or some problem or something, and so with each book you kind of get a satisfying ending, because it's kind of solved by the end. Sookie is a telepath, so she can read minds, and her boyfriend is a vampire, and it's a nice kind of fantasy-filled series, and there is action, and there is kind of gruesome descriptions, kind of bloody scenes, but not too much. The one negative I found at the beginning was I was quite shocked, really. It was the first series I read where there was like real full-on sex scenes, so it's quite kind of graphic. At times I was like, this is verging on pornographic. So just be prepared for that. There are a lot of sex scenes in them, but besides that, the story in itself is excellent. I really enjoyed reading them. I could not wait to get on to the next one. They're real page turners. I have to admit though, I just read the 11th book, and I have to say the 10th and the 11th weren't my favourites. The 10th one especially, there was no real story to it. It was just like a really small problem to solve, and the ending was really unsatisfying. I was like, is that the end? I couldn't believe it. I thought I was missing bits of the book or something. And the 11th book did get a bit better, but it still wasn't my favourite. But there should be a 12th one, I think. So we'll have a long wait for that though, because usually it's about at least a year between books, and it could be longer than a year for the 12th one. But anyway, there's 11 so far, so if you've never read the series before, you have plenty to get through. But they are really enjoyable and exciting, and they're full of kind of heart, and there's definitely different kind of romances to root for, and I just really like them. They are, if you heard of the TV show True Blood, the TV show is based on these books, and I read these books before the kind of whole True Blood hype built up. So I like just to think of the books as separate, because they are quite different from the TV show. I do think the first book is quite similar to the TV show, but the second and third aren't. So forget about the TV show when you read these books, because there are a lot of different things in them, and the characters are a little bit different. And I think you really enjoy them. Okay, so that is my spoiler-free review, and now I'm going to do another review with just containing spoilers and details for those who have read the series. So if you don't want to know any of these spoilers, please switch off now. Okay, so Sookie, I thought she was a likeable enough character. At times she did get kind of annoying and kind of whiny at times. But the character I hated the most was Bill. Oh my god, how do people like Bill? He's the most infuriating, dull, just not likable character. Oh, I couldn't stand him. Um, and then in complete contrast, I loved Eric. He kind of made the books for me at times. Like, I based kind of my favorite books on my favorite Sookie Eric moments, and I just thought he was brilliant. He was funny. He was kind of he was written kind of like it was a sexy character, and then he had these kind of sweet moments with Sookie, which I really liked because like he's been alive for 1,000 years, but he's only kind of affectionate with this one human. Like she fascinates him, which is kind of unique and likable about them. So I was delighted when they did get together. I suppose it wasn't until about the ninth book that they really got together. So it was a long time coming, and it was really satisfying then. And then I don't want to sound like, oh, I couldn't wait for them to get together, and the minute they got together, I hated them. It's not really that. In the 10th book, Eric's character kind of changed. He wasn't really that funny, cheeky, sexy character anymore. He was a bit too kind of in touch with his emotions and too kind of lovey-dovey, and it wasn't really like Eric. And he like cried and yeah, so I wasn't mad about him in the 10th book. He was a bit more like himself in the 11th, but not completely. That's not to say I want them to break up or anything. I just I don't know. I missed the way they were, I suppose. I did think in the 11th book Sookie was going to like sleep with Sam and get pregnant or some drama like that. She was kind of getting a bit fed up with Eric. And I wasn't mad with the obstacle the author gave them in the 11th book, how his maker signed a contract sending him off to marry this queen, vampire queen. Like, it wasn't that big a deal. Like, if the author wanted to make a big obstacle, she could have done something more exciting, more serious. That just seemed really kind of stupid and minor, and it didn't even get solved by the end of the book. I was really shocked as well when the 11th one ended, because Sookie didn't even get to have a real proper talk with Eric about it at all. So that was kind of, it wasn't big enough for me. But okay, besides all that, I do love Eric and Sookie. Sookie has so many love interests. She had about 6 at one point, right? She had Bill, she had Eric, she had Sam, she had Quinn, Alcide, and kind of Calvin Norris. 6 love interests at once. That was that was a bit much. I was so happy when Bill and her just broke up. Oh, he was just incredibly annoying. And halfway through the 11th book, I even forgot about Bill. I was like, he came into it halfway through the 11th book, and I was like, oh my god, oh yeah, Bill. I completely forgot about him. Like, his character is just so unnecessary and unneeded. So, like, he wasn't even needed. I forgot about him. I didn't worry about it. Yeah, he's just really controlling and creepy and just not likable at all. I suppose my favourite book is the 3rd book. I loved it. For a few reasons, really. I loved the storyline in it. It was really exciting. We get to see Sookie in all these kind of life or death situations. I loved the moment where she, she was staked and Eric brought her to, whose house was it? There's so many vampires. She was brought to this mansion anyway, and Eric, he was so sweet and kind to her, and he held her hand, and that was all really nice. And then Bill kind of attacked her in the trunk of the car, and was kind of glossed over a lot. Like, he literally he rapes her, and that's not really mentioned anymore, which is a big deal. But anyway, she breaks up with Bill in this book, so that was good. I also love the 8th book for some reason. I think it's because Eric and Sookie kind of got a bit closer, like they turned the corner in this book. And it was exciting with the whole kind of fairies were brought into it a bit more. So yeah, these books are definitely recommended. I noticed as well, Charlaine Harris, she goes through the mundane aspects of Sookie's life a lot. And usually in books I hate this, but I know, she does it in such a kind of endearing way that you don't really mind. Like, she describes her clothes a lot, and she mentions when she does housework. This is all kind of during the day when you're just waiting for it to be night for the vampires to come. Yeah, when she goes shopping, when she meets up with these kind of really minor friend characters. Yeah, like, so we get to see a lot of Sookie's life, and we get to know her, and So yeah, that's basically my review. As I said, the True Blood series, it's good, but I like to think of them as separate. And even though the third book was my favourite, they completely changed it in the TV show, so I wouldn't say the third season was my favourite. But I read the books first, and I really enjoy the books, and I hope people can separate them out as well. So thanks very much for watching my review. If you have any recommendations of books out there, please let me know what I should be reading. And thanks very much for watching, and tune in to my next review.